Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Mercury 80. And what I thought we would do would be a little analysis of some of the images and screenshots that I have taken this year, shall we say. And this one was just a little bit of fun, really. I thought you might enjoy looking at these. And you see this orb shape here. We've got orb shapes there. Look at that kind of multicolour. There's reds. All of the different colours in there. Doesn't look exactly round either, does it? It looks to be indentated with different sort of shapes. Then we've got the blue thing here. Now, what I did was I stopped the lens right down because I'm shooting into the sun, so I've cut out all of as much light as possible. So it's very fast shutter speed, and the lens is as small as possible to let the minimum light in. But then you see things like this here. Now if you look very closely, let's zoom in. See all these little lines that are going around here. Let's zoom out. Can you see anything in there? Do you see anything in there? Don't forget, pop them in the comments if you want to. There we go. I thought you might like that one. So we have a similar image. This is the second one. Similar, almost looks the same. We've still got that multicoloured orb down there. This here. I can vaguely see these, but it is so fleeting. But look at the changes in this. What do you see there? Do you see anything or nothing? What do you see? Sort of blues and things here. Blue orb. Quite interesting. So here we are again. I've focused in on this multicoloured one here, which seems to have changed its kind of form, but it's like a filament. If you see jellyfish in the sea, it's very similar. It's like a filament. And the blue orb there, and the green one appears to have some sort of highlight in the middle. I don't know what that is. But I just thought they were quite interesting. There is also this sort of stuff going on up here. Not really sure what that is. So this is the image a few frames later, zoomed out and made into quite a small crop thing. So the further away it is, the better you get to see things. So that's just right in front of the lens, so it's blurred, and you can see all of the old man's beard, as they call it. Look at this. All these. Quite a bit of variety of colour. Don't really know what it is, but this drew my attention as well. And there's all sorts of imagery here. I was quite curious by this. When I saw this, I just thought it looked unusual. I'll show you how I do this, putting overlays of photographs. So I've got a photograph taken probably looking 2 degrees to this direction, and a photograph looking 2 degrees to that direction, so you then get the blurring between the two. Overlay one on the other over the other. And the reason why I do that is when I first started to look and analyze the photographs, I heard this advice saying layers. There are many layers. And so the more layers I create of the same image thereabout, it seems to build up things that you just wouldn't see by eye. You might feel it, but you wouldn't see it. So first of all, I'll draw your attention to this here. What do you make of that? Then I'm going to move you across to this area here. What do you make of that? Anything? Nothing? But in particular, here. Look at that. So turn your head to the right, tilt it on the right, and there's an odd sort of pixie type thing, really, to be honest. What's this? All of this stuff. It's odd. Very odd. The next photo, taken split seconds between them, is this one here. Look at that area very clearly. Look at that. What do you see? And what do you then see? Side of the tree. Do you see an eye there and an eye there? Do you see another eye there? There's all sorts of strangeness. And I think that's the best way to describe it, as high strangeness. The next shot in this, I think there were 3 altogether, and look what we have here. Can you see that? I'm not going to proffer an explanation as to what I think it is, because I have no idea. I know what it looks like, but I've got no idea. But my eye is drawn to it because there is the light. It's like it's energy coming either out of the tree or out of the ground. See the different colour light between here and there? It's just weird. Okay, so this was from the video I made about Lenz's law, and I was introducing it and discussing the magnets and what the magnets would do. So this, what I've done is taken a a screenshot and then used a thing that makes it negative. So it's like an inverts the colour. So whatever is light becomes dark, vice versa. So this was a dark blue sweatshirt. And I noticed this. Are you looking at that? That is not on my sweatshirt. But when you look really closely, it looks like a hand. A finger. 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 It's bizarre. Just bizarre. Just wanted to point that out. So this is the same image, and I've used a blue and yellow filter. And the yellow is the highlight of the light, and the blue is the highlights the dark. So we have something over there. Can't make it out, it's not very clear. But that same image again, very difficult to make out. I just think that is the bizarrest thing I've ever seen. Tell you what, blue and yellow is not good for wrinkles. So this is it using 4 different colours, yellow, blue, pink and green. And so this is the next format of the screenshots that I'm going to show you. I'm going to use different coloured filters. Okay. So do you remember during our Easter egg hunt, we saw this here. Flying object, and it sort of zoomed up and down this sort of little area, and it was about 3 seconds of video, which I slowed right down. I slowed the speed of the video down and then put that into slow motion, and I got about 3 or 4 seconds. Now I asked Dacia Gea about these because I've seen a few of these, and he tells me that they are called, or it is called a remote data accumulator. But it's not the people that send these. Don't ask me who, no idea. So it just looks like a cigar. I think it's much, much smaller. I think it's probably about 1.5 inches long. But it was buzzing around where we were standing. So this is the photograph that I took of that. Now we're going to go through some of the different filters and see if they show us anything or nothing. So here it is as a negative. Same photograph, and it's all as a negative. So you start to get some quite weird imagery, like that appears to almost be a square in there. But this is our friend. This is our little RDA, Remote Data Accumulator. Look what you see around it. There, there, there. Can you see those? Feel free to screenshot this if you wish to, or screenshot any of them. Feel free to do that. This is in blue, and there, when you've got the blue in the dark and the yellow in the light, you see the same image here. There's something behind it. Do you see what I mean? There appears to be some kind of thing behind it. See that? It's quite bizarre. So there's this face up here again. Weird. There's all sorts of imagery here. What would you say that was? There. And if I was to slide this across here, what do you think is going on there. I'll put it back to its original screen. This is it with 4 colours, so you can see it here in the pink. Looks like there's a face right behind it. Again on the green, you can see the shape of the ear. Down below here on the blue, and then on the yellow. It's bizarre. So we're a bit further along. We've still got this roundel here. This is moved a little bit further. It's a little bit wider. Circular, something circular there. Don't know what that is. But it's quite bizarre, the negative way it works on the dark and the light. I am always drawn to the very light patches where you suddenly get a bit of sunlight in your photograph. And I think there might be a reason for it being there. It might just be sunlight, but when you look at them closely, there's invariably a reason for it there. So that's this again in the 4 colours. There, here, down here, and down here. So while you can see that tiny in the bottom left, in each one of these here, there is a very large face. Very faint, but it's very large. Here it is again, in the middle. Here it is again, down here. And down here. So this now, it's changed, see? The bottom left here. Our friend, our remote data accumulator has changed. The imagery seems to be different behind it. What are we picking up there? Is that part of an eye? Is that part of a face? What is that? This is the same image. Now look at that area there. Does that look different? That's our RDA and whatever's behind it. It's just bizarre. What is that? What do you see there? What do you see here? It's bizarre. That's my new word. It's bizarre. But I'm afraid it is. It's just bizarre. So there's a slight difference again to what's going on behind it. And here. Is that big face still there? It is. It's very faint. It seems to have moved slightly to the left. Yes, it's slightly moved to the left. It's bizarre. Now this has changed yet again. And then if you look closely here, what's all this stuff here? What's all that about? What is that? Is that somebody wearing a hat? Are they 2 inches tall? A Mexicano. It's just strange. This is the same image. Now our object has changed. It's now very, very faint. If I zoom in, it's very, very faint. It's still there, but it's very, very faint. See, it's very faint, but what is that large area behind it? What do you think that looks like? What does that look like to you? What does all this look like to you? What do you see? I don't see this in the colour image at all, but it's here in the negative. So this is now changed shape again, changed style. Whatever it is, it's changed. There's something blue behind it. There's a dark patch up there. Something blue. Is it a blue face? It's bizarre. Unusual shadow. It's just bizarre. All the time, I might add, this shape here. It looks very much like a crow sitting there. It's just an arrangement of sticks, but it does look like a crow. You might think it looks like something else. So here we go, that same thing in the negative. Now look at the way the yellow shows behind it. That is quite strange. It's almost like Scooby-Doo. It's very strange. And we've lost our definition. The whole imagery has lost definition. Very strange. This is the photograph in the colour. You're getting some definition and shape to this object now. It seems to have, you'd like to say wings, but it's not. It's like a dark energy. And when you zoom in on it, see this here and this here. And you'd have to say, I wonder what that could be. And we've got strange sort of being there. There we go. And we've got this round object again here. What's happening down there? What's going on over here? What is that? I mean, look at this detail here. It's just bizarre. Same image. The yellow really shows up the background of this thing whatever this is, quite well. Can you see it? What do you think that is up there behind it? It's just bizarre. And then we have our strangeness there. Great deal of strangeness there. Now, that is the most interesting of all, because I'm not going to zoom in on that because I think you get it better from the distance. What do you think you're seeing around here, beside and behind this? It's quite unusual. And there's a sort of a strange type of shape there, but that just reminded me of a crow's shape. It's not a crow. Got an eye there. What is that? Wow. I find myself saying this over and over again. This is just bizarre. So this is as close as I can zoom in without losing too much definition. You want to check out this area here. That's odd. This is it enlarged. The yellow behind it. Tilt your head to the right. Put your head onto your right shoulder. See what you see there. Moving on. Same image. Now look at this very closely. It looks like a flying cigar. What do you see there? What do you see here? I'm going to sort of zoom in on this. It doesn't really work, does it? If you zoom in, you lose the definition totally. And this blueness behind here. the colour thing is quite interesting to me. What's going on here? There. Next one. So what I did was I made 20 small images of this. Now it looks different on each colour. And the smaller the image, sometimes the more information you can glean. But that's our object here. And here. Does it look better in the green? And what are you seeing here? What do you think that is? All that. All that. Just strange. That's up very, very close. But look to the right. Look immediately to the right of it. What's that? Why is it there? What is this? Why is it there? This was quite interesting to me because I thought that area there was quite interesting. I also looked at that. I thought that was bizarre. And then moving across to the right, all of this imagery within the tree. Isn't that strange? It's bizarre. And then where there's light, I always think that's really strange what the light is there for. But large, writ large in the tree. What does that look like? This was just taken where there's a lovely ray of light coming through. Now I must say that this forest now has been ploughed down by the Forestry Commission because there are so many fallen trees. But I looked across to this side of the screen here. So if you were to tilt your head to the right, look at that shape there. It's unusual. Then look at that there. What do you see? It's very strange. What does that look like? Is that a little crown or? I don't know what it looks like. It's very strange. What's going on here? See that? What's going on there? And shall we say what's happening here? I was also aware of this area, something about this area here. I think that's a little unusual. And I didn't see this at the time. None of it. This is the last image I took before I left this little forest area. There's something odd about that shape there. Because there's two eyes. The whole thing is strange looking. Not as strange as that. I tried to work out where they are, where these images are in relation to the trees. So it's behind those trees? Is it between that tree and that tree? It's quite difficult to place the position of where the imagery is coming in. You see the eye? Yeah. Tilt your head to the left slightly. So this was in an area where there was quite a lot of glyphs, and it was right on a corner. And I don't think I'd even looked through this photograph at all. But I started to look at that. It's very, very faint, but there's something odd there. That, I have no idea what that is at all. Or that. So slowly, let's have a look. See anything in there? Nothing? It's odd. What's this pink? Pink coming out the tree. I thought you might like to see that. And the eye, of course. The eyes are just telling us to look. Look, there's more to this picture than you think. Have a closer look. Here's some difference for you. This is in the blue. Right away I'm looking at that. Right away. And that. Hello. Bizarre. Oh, this stuff is just bizarre. See it? Just strangeness. Strangeness indeed. This is another image I took, and I want you to just cast your eyes to the side and look at this here. I wonder what you see. It's very unusual. There's an eye stuck in the middle of it. But it's really, really unusual. I can't make out any form, but I'm going to zoom in. Something here. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that strange, the way... You see that? And what is that? It's shining, it's sparkling. Notice the twig. Protection. Friendship. And then it comes out into something peculiar. Just a branch up there. So what do we think that is? What does that look like to us? Tilt your head to the right, and what do you think? It's just odd, isn't it? So it seems to come down here like that. When you step away and look at it from a distance, it's very unusual. So we move across the screen and see what we're seeing. We'll see, what is that? What does that look like to us? What do we see? And then here, what on earth is going on there? Why is that lit up in a very strange shape? When I say it's a strange shape, I think it's just supposedly light. But look at that. That is a very linear shape. Might be purely coincidental, but I had the feeling that was telling us something or showing us something. And I couldn't make out what it was. And then, what is this? Look the way that's lit up. What do you think, folks? There's a lot to see. And a lot of it you just sort of walk over and brush over. I haven't really got any explanations for what anything is. So this was up at the gifting site. 2 images grafted together, split second apart. That was some rubbish on the floor that they'd left having eaten the goodies. That's one of the nets. But then I started to find this over here. I don't know what that is. It's solid, it's got form. It's just very strange. And why do we have this here? Now I wonder if you can see it, but this is what really threw me. Does that look like a 6? Does that look like a sort of a 4? $46. I have seen quite a few numbers over the images that I've seen. And something about numbers. Oh, top left up there. Hello, look at you. Very nice. Something about numbers. So this, again, 2 images, milliseconds apart. So it almost looks like one. And that looks unusual up there. I would say that was unusual. But more than that, I was just looking at things like that. This is just a frond. It's one of these palm tree fronds. Let's have a look. With a sort of an S shape in it. That I thought unusual. Very unusual. So here, that frond appears again. See, there's the others. Here it appears again. This is why I went back to it, because I thought there's something odd about that. Now look at it. It's a square of some sort of kind. It's a palm frond, but it's now got an image within it. That, dear. I don't know. I don't know. This was just a couple of unusual shots. It's exactly the same photograph with the blue and the green. And this here, that kind of drew my attention. I thought, it's odd shape. And this is in the inverted thing, and I never even noticed that, whatever that is. But isn't that peculiar? This up here? Do you think that's odd? I do. I think it's very odd. It's bizarre. So this was just a piece of ground, and I noticed something like milky coloured across here. You see it here. And it's elliptical. Very faint. But it's elliptical. And it's more clear on there when I reduce the light in the picture. No idea. But I wonder what they are thinking of. Clearly watching on. There's a massive eye there looking. Massive eye. What's this? Yeah, let's have a look. What is that? What area is that? I just wanted to show you these, and these are in thumbnail size. I can reduce the size of them to just that size, so they're minuscule. I'll put them back to what they were. Now when you step away from your television and have a look at them, what do you see? Although you can see that it's all green and trees and things, forget the detail. Forget the detail. Step back. Do you see a very large face there? Sorry, that's annoying that doing that. And in this area, large faces. There. It's like having the Beatles lined up. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And all that time you see that, there's like this smoky grey right across the middle. So step back from your television and see if you can see it. You might see other imagery in there as well. Do you see a large eye in the middle of that? You might do, you might not. Looks just unusual, isn't it? So thank you for watching. I hope you found it of some interest. And I'm going to put a little video together of this particular image. I've got about 5 or 6 shots all in succession, and you will see as well here one of these objects that we've just had, a remote data accumulator. Bizarre. That is an object. It has form, it has shape. And I'm going to take you through a video of that. I think you're going to be very interested in what you see. And the eyes again. All of this stuff up here. Well, thank you for watching. And I hope you've had an interesting time. I hope it's sort of giving you something else to think and see and view. So go out with your camera. Take a whole lot of photographs in different directions. Come back and analyze them and see if you get some of these things that I'm seeing here. While you're there, check out any old tree stumps that you see. See if there are fir cones left on top of these tree stumps. I keep finding them, and I wonder whether you find them as well. So thanks for watching. Stay safe, folks. Be kind in word, thought and deed. Good night. Bye.